are back hanging out here on a beautiful Saturday. I'm really excited about it. Bo Nickal, how are you, sir?
Doing awesome. Very excited to be here.
You know, I argue with people on a regular basis. I'm a big MMA guy. I just introduced myself as I'm brand new. Obviously, I've been around, for a little bit. But my favorite thing of all time is NCAA wrestling. I love the tournament. Obviously, you're the king of the tournament. Talk about the experiences. I mean, you went to a small school, we know, Penn State, dominates every year. Just about that experience.
Man, I'm so grateful for all the experiences I had and everything I was able to do at Penn State. There was so many cool things that I was able to do. Competing in the NCAA wrestling tournament is just like, it's next level. You have 30,000 fans. It gets real tribal, obviously. You got different fan bases from different schools and stuff. And there's a ton of matches with 10 different weight classes over the course of 3 days. So for me, the NCAA tournament is always memories that I'll look back on super fondly, and just big moments that I was able to have in my career, and not only have for myself but share with others. I won 3 national championships myself, and then the thing that I'm really proud of is being able to win 4 team titles at Penn State in a row. That was amazing experiences, and just very, very grateful for those.
As a fan or even media, they expect Penn State to be there. They expect Penn State to be there in the finale. What's it like being in the wrestling room with that reputation of the Nittany Lions?
I think that's something we feed off of, really, is that reputation. Not only do people expect us to be there, but we know our competition expects the same thing. When you're wrestling at Penn State, you know you're going to compete the best at the national tournament. So does every single other school. They know that we're gonna be our best out of the entire year on the weekend it matters most, and that's just how we compete, and it gives us a big advantage, building that reputation that's not only just happens once in a while, it happens year in, year out, where our guys are there and they kill it at the nationals every year. So I think it's intimidating when you're looking at it from a competitor standpoint. From the media, it's exciting. I think that they want, obviously, there to be upsets and different stuff, but we never really let them get that.
Allow that.
Yeah, we never really
exactly.
allow it. So we always end up on top, which is just a testament to our coaches and the whole staff, and the type of guys that we recruit. They're ready for the big moments, and they're excited. They're competing the best in those type of environments, and yeah, it's something that's just kind of a culture that we have.
And I'm assuming that you also thrive on the bullseye that's on your back. So whoever you're competing against, they may not be at your level, but they know that they're taking on Goliath, that in that tournament.
Yeah. The bullseye is interesting. It's an interesting thing, because generally you expect people to give you their best match, right? Like, they're always, when you're the top dog, people are trying to take you out, and they're going to come out and they're going to give their best. But it also kind of works in your favor because it gives people more of a reason to quit. Like, they're like, after the first period, if you're up a little bit on them, like, now they're like, I shouldn't even be here anyways, So it kind of works both ways. Like, a lot of times, you'll get guys' best matches, but it's only for a certain period of time. It's only for, the first minute, the first 2, the first 3 minutes. Maybe it's the first 5 minutes even. They can last that long. But I think for the length of an entire match, if our competitors are at Penn State are locked in the whole time, like, we're gonna win that battle, long term.
Can you feel them checking out, from the very beginning? You can sense when that is.
Yeah, I mean, generally, like, they come out way too hot. Like, they'll come out one of 2 ways. They'll either come out like go for broke right away, or they'll come out like super cautious, and both are bad. Because if they come out too hot, one, we're just better wrestlers, so they're going to end up losing those situations, losing those positions. 2, if they come out, trying to not get beat really bad, they're not giving themselves a chance to win. So people can't really find that middle ground between those two. They either go, all the way on one end of the spectrum or the other, and neither really work out super well.
It doesn't work out. Yeah. When did you start thinking mixed martial arts?
So I've been a fan of the sport for a long time. I watched, like...
What's a long time to you?
Right. Long time for me is different. So okay. 15 years. Like,
okay.
Since I was about 10 years old, right?
Sure.
So, like, I've always loved MMA. Watching The Ultimate Fighter back in its heyday. Watching UFC events with Rampage Jackson, Chuck Liddell, the guys that have been there for a long time. And so I've always been a fan of the sport, and I knew I could do it. I knew, like, hey, in the back of my head, that could be an option for me. And halfway through college, probably like my sophomore, junior year, was when I decided I'm going to pursue MMA for sure. Like, I want to do this. When I'm done wrestling, like, this is what I'm gonna chase after. And I didn't do any training while I was wrestling, so I've only been training about 11 months now. But I've known for probably since like 2017, 2018 that's what I was gonna pursue.
What's the hardest thing to learn right now? I'm a big believer wrestling. That's the core. I'm a big Matt Hughes guy. We've done a lot of stuff together. If you're a good wrestler, you already have one arm up. What is the thing that you've struggled with, if anything, getting ready to hit the Contender Series?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say struggle, because I love starting as a beginner. Like, that's been such a cool thing for me. I wrestled for a long time, and obviously when there was more for me to learn in the sport of wrestling, and a bunch of different stuff for me to learn still with wrestling. But being able to start from completely on square one in striking and in jiu-jitsu has been such a cool thing. So anything that I like have difficulties with, it's not really frustrating. It's more like, nice, this is great. Like, I get to learn, I get to get better.
Sure.
Like, that's so freaking cool. But definitely just like being upright, right? Like, I'm used to being bent over in a stance, low to the ground, being upright, keeping my hips loose, just the different range, the different pace of the fight. A championship fight's 25 minutes. In wrestling, the Olympic gold medal match is only going to be 6.
Right.
So, that's a different thing in and of itself. But I would say, like, just the overall, like, footwork, and then from a specifically technical aspect, getting those hips loose and being able to, like, throw kicks with no tells and stuff, that's something that's super foreign to me, right? Like, there's nothing near like that in wrestling as what we have to do in MMA. So that's something I've really honed in on and really grown to enjoy. But yeah, there's a lot of different aspects that are different in each of the disciplines.
Now there is a form of wrestling that does allow that. Obviously, the WWE. Did you consider going that direction, or is that something maybe possibly down the road?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. If any of those WWE guys want to get, I'm right here. So I think at this point in my career, I'm 100% focused on being the best mixed martial artist I can be. But I'm down to change arenas at any time. I'm competing in a grappling tournament, or the Fight Pass Invitational here.
Oh, on Sunday?
On Sunday. So, whatever it is, combat sports-wise, throw my hat in the ring. I'm ready to do it. So I can see myself in the WWE taking boxing matches, obviously doing grappling matches. So I'll do wrestling matches too in the future, amateur wrestling matches if that's an option for me. So, I'm looking to compete any way I can.
We changed our flights. We were originally leaving Sunday morning, and then when I thought the grappling tournament was during the week.
Right.
So as soon as I found out, I had to change because I have to be there. Tell me your hookup with Malky and Abe and how that whole thing went down.
Yeah. So when I think I sent out a tweet maybe after my senior year that I was going to do MMA after I'm done wrestling. And so when that happened, Malky reached out and we started getting a conversation going, and kind of told him my plans and what I wanted to do with my competitive wrestling career, and then transitioning over. And so I really immediately kind of a bunch of agents had reached out to me, a bunch of management teams had wanted to talk to me, and I felt like he was the one that was just gonna really fight for me, gonna do the best job as far as my contracts are concerned and my sponsorships. And out of everybody I met with, I trusted him the most to get things done. And I knew right away that he was going to be a great person to represent me. He introduced me to Dan Lambert at American Top Team, and we were able to build out an MMA gym in PA, about 15 minutes off of campus at Penn State. So we built that gym out. It was finished this past August, and that's where I trained full time. So from the jump, Malky was just getting stuff done for me, and I believe First Round is the best agency now in the whole sport.
How nice is that you don't have to worry about any of that stuff? All you have to worry about is training, getting ready for whatever that fight is, and let him and his guys handle everything.
Oh, it's great. I think, like, for me, I just want to zoom focus on what I'm good at, right? And I'm so lucky to have a great team around me and a bunch of people who care about me, who want me to succeed, and who want me to achieve my goals. And so it makes such a big difference having a great team, and I'm just so grateful to have all these awesome people around me.
I'm always worried, like I do a lot with the Ultimate Fighter, so I know only to talk up last week's episode or whatever, so I don't know how much you're able to talk, but the UFC press or PR people told me that you're coming up on the Contender Series. How much do you know? Do you know when? Do you know who? Or do you even care?
I do know. I don't really care, but I'll be fighting August 9th. I do care. I don't care who I'm fighting, but I do care that I'm going to be having this opportunity to, start off in the Contender Series and, kick off my UFC career. So I'll be fighting Zach Borrego. He's 2-0. It's just going to be an awesome opportunity for me to show my skills and, continue to grow in the sport and get better. But yeah, I mean, I'm really pumped for this. It's been a dream of mine to be, fighting the UFC, and this is a nice first step on that road.
What do you think of this whole atmosphere? It's like a circus.
Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, the energy here is insane. It's so cool to have such a amazing fan base in this sport. I mean, the fans are truly rabid. Like, there's no other sport that has fans the way MMA does, and so just to be here, to be able to enjoy this fan expo and watch the fights this weekend is really awesome.
And there's no other sport that the athletes, I do a lot in the NFL. I travel with all those guys, where the athletes can mingle with the fans and the fans can mingle with, with the athletes.
It's definitely unique. I mean, this is kind of wrestling is too. Like, it's more of a blue collar, down to earth sport. Like for me, there's no fan that I'm ever not going to have time for. I think the NBA guys, the NFL guys, like, you make $100 million, you kind of just like,
it's hard.
Yourself, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard.
I understand that to an extent, but for me, I'm never going to do that. I love the fans. I love everybody who wants to support me. If you want to get a picture with me, I'll stay for 5 hours and take pictures with every single guy here. So, I think that's just coming from being a fan of the sport and from a young age, looking up to guys who competed in wrestling and competed in MMA and wanting to be like that, wanting to emulate them. And so for me now, being in that position, I want to be able to give back where I can and spend time with people that I'll probably never see again, and just make sure that I'm making as many acquaintances as I can in the sport.
Let's say 9 months, a year from now, you're walking down the mall somewhere, in the U.S. Are you wearing a Penn State T-shirt? Are you wearing a UFC T-shirt? What are you wearing?
Ooh, that's a great
first
question.
management.
Yeah, that's a great question. Malky would definitely want me in a first round tee.
Yeah. We'll worry about it in a year.
Yeah.
We're worried about
I mean, I'm loyal to all those people, but
sure.
I think at the end of the day, I got to stay true to my roots. So I'm a Penn State guy through and through. I'm a wrestling guy. I'm going to take every single wrestling fan that doesn't already watch MMA. They're coming with me into the MMA world. So that's what I'm bringing to the table. That's what I'm bringing to the sport. Obviously have a big name in wrestling, but that's the fan base that has been there for me from the jump. That's what my family is. My grandpa wrestled, my dad wrestled, so that's in my DNA. That's ingrained in me, and I'll always take that with me, no matter what arena I'm competing in or what I'm doing, whether that's fighting MMA, business in the future, or whatever it is. Like, I'm a wrestler first and foremost, so all those people can ride and die with me.
Awesome. Very good stuff, Bo. Thank you for your time. We're going to get your information. We're going to send you a care package from 8 Man Strong, as well as a box of socks from Odd Sock Official, as well as a new company that's sponsoring us. It's called Right on Track. It's for campers and backpackers, and it's food, but it's for backpackers. So you throw it in the back. I eat it in my house all the time. It is good stuff. So we're going to send you a box of that as well.
Awesome, thank you.
I appreciate
try it out.
I appreciate your time. All right, let's hit a break. We'll be right back.